You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4, moving forward.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Live at 4. Happy Monday, everyone.
And happy fall.
Yeah.
It's the first day of fall. It doesn't feel like it.
No, if you want to get some plaid, I recommend some short sleeves because it still feels like summer out
there.
there.
Good idea. Let's get a check on the weather. Meteorologist Jacob Madison is watching our forecast and a little rain on the radar.
Yeah, we've been seeing rain across our area pretty much all day. We've had some on and off severe thunderstorm warnings as well. Right now, the current storm in southern Wisconsin is impacting Crawford County, and there was a severe thunderstorm warning with it just about an hour ago, but that has expired. As we take a look, could we put on Max 2 behind me if we could? If we take a look at the current radar, really right around Crawford County, that is where the heaviest rain is. You can see plenty of lightning, very heavy rain. Some minor hail with it as well. The severe thunderstorm warning did have quarter-size hail with that. Not seeing that warning right now, but it definitely could pop back up. We're keeping a close eye on it. And in general, we're going to continue to see an isolated risk of severe weather across much of the area throughout the rest of the evening into the early overnight hours. So taking a look at future track, we are going to be seeing these on and off showers and thunderstorms for pretty much any portion of our area. And there is going to be a chance that some of those storms could be severe. But if they do impact your area, they're certainly going to bring some heavy rainfall. Now, once we get to around 1 to 2 a.m. that's when it looks like it's really going to kind of wrap up, still impacting areas to the south and east. But then as we get closer to Tuesday morning, that's when the rain will completely clear out. Should be mostly gone by around 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. But we still are going to see some more small chances of rainfall over the next couple of days. And I'll talk more about that coming up a bit later.
Thank you, Jacob. Well, breaking news today, President Trump has just said using Tylenol during pregnancy can contribute to a higher rate of autism. This announcement follows a report from the Washington Post saying Trump officials plan to tie autism to acetaminophen, an active ingredient in the drug today. Now, we should note there is no hard evidence using Tylenol while pregnant causes autism, and many doctors dispute this claim. We'll have more on the announcement later on Live at 4.
Earlier this month, the State Department of Public Instruction announced the Department of Education is ending funding for the Wisconsin Deaf-Blind Technical Assistance Project.
Our Jalen Banks sat down with two parents whose children will be affected if the program loses its funding. So, Jalen, what did they share with you?
Brady and Susan, one parent described the news of losing this program as a gut punch. The Wisconsin Deaf-Blind Technical Assistance Project provides assistance to families with children that are deaf-blind and face other challenges. WDBTAP serves 170 students from birth to the age of 21. 85% of them, however, have 4 or more disabilities. Part of the program provides service to deaf-blind students, as well as needs that are being met in the classroom, lends equipment to families so they don't have to buy expensive equipment just outright, and also teach sign language to families as well, among other things.
Community and group and just the knowledge base there of trying to work with a special needs kid that's deaf and blind. It's very specific, and so there's some unique challenges. And this group has really helped connect us with people and do stuff there. And they've been a huge support for our school district, and then like our speech therapist, OT, and like everybody there.
The U.S. Department of Education stated the program reflects the prior administration's priorities and policy preferences and conflict with those of the current administration. The program is set to end at the end of the month. In a statement released by State Superintendent Dr. Joe Underly, she says these are kids who depend on specialized support just to access their guaranteed right to free and appropriate public education. She goes on saying losing these dollars at this point in the year will be devastating for the kids who need these supports at the most. Tonight at 5, we'll hear more from another parent whose daughter will be impacted by the cuts.
Jalen, thank you. Jimmy Kimmel's show will return tomorrow. This is less than a week after ABC suspended it over comments the host made about the suspected killer of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Last week, the late-night host implied the suspect was potentially motivated by conservative ideology, and that claim turned out to be not true. The president's FCC appointee then threatened Kimmel's show soon after ABC and Disney announced the show would be preempted indefinitely. In a statement after announcing Kimmel's show would return, a spokesperson for Disney said its decision was made because Kimmel's comments were what they're calling ill-timed. The spokesperson went on to say, "We have spent the last days having thoughtful conversations with Jimmy, and after those conversations, we have reached the decision to return the show on Tuesday." Well, a man is dead after a crash over the weekend in Grant County. 64-year-old Ronald Walsh of Horicon is the victim. Just before 7 Saturday morning, the sheriff's office responded to County Highway U near the intersection with South Boyce Creek Road in Potosi. Walsh was headed west on his motorcycle when he veered off the road. He crashed into a ditch and was thrown off his bike. It's unknown what caused Walsh to veer off the road, but the sheriff's office says it was foggy and rainy. The coroner pronounced him dead at the scene.
Madison police are investigating after a robbery over the weekend. Police responded to businesses on East Springs Drive Saturday night for a report of an armed robbery. An employee says 3 men arrived at the store, one carrying a metal pipe. One man stole a customer's cell phone and wallet, while the 2 others pushed an employee and took money from the register. The suspects left the scene before police arrived. If you have any information about this incident, call the Madison Area Crime Stoppers at the number on your screen. You can also submit a tip anonymously at p3tips.com.
Happening tonight, you can learn more about the John Nolan Drive project. At 6:30, the City of Madison, the state's Department of Transportation, and the project's contractor will hold a virtual public information meeting to answer questions. A recording will be available online if you can't go to it. Construction starts early next month, but there's not an exact start date yet. Work won't wrap up until 2027. You can find a link to register for the meeting at the story on channel3000.com.
More local news. History buffs and musical theater lovers alike will have something to celebrate this week. The Overture will begin selling tickets for Hamilton. The show is coming back to Madison, and the tickets go on sale Thursday morning at 11. The critically acclaimed and award-winning musical will be in Madison from January 6th through the 18th. The Overture Center says there will be a maximum purchase limit of 8 tickets per account, and tickets start at $48.90. You can buy tickets online at overture.org. A lottery for 40 $10 seats for all performances, and the details on that will be announced later. From student athlete to coach, we'll sit down with the newest assistant coach on UW-Madison's men's rowing team.
Lowell McNicholas tells us what brought him back to campus less than 5 years after he left. Later on Live at 4.
And Jacob will tell us whether we'll see showers during our first full week of fall. Is it officially fall? What time did it turn to fall? Do you know?
Today?
Around like 1 p.m.
1 p.m. All right, it's fall.
It's fall, y'all.
The forecast is coming up.
Welcome back. People who recently bought poke from Costco should check their refrigerators. Kirkland's signature brand is recalling 3,000 pounds of its ahi tuna wasabi poke. The prepackaged product could be contaminated with listeria. Costco stores in more than 30 states, including Wisconsin, sold the poke. The FDA says so far no one has gotten sick. Recalled products have a back date of September 18th and sell-by date of September 22nd. So if you have this in your fridge, throw it away, or you can go back to Costco for a full refund.
Happening today, the Federal Trade Commission's trial against Amazon is underway. Under the Biden administration, the FTC sued Amazon in 2023, accusing it of tricking customers into signing up for its Prime membership and then making it difficult to cancel. Amazon has previously denied any wrongdoing. Opening statements are expected to start tomorrow, and the trial could last about a month.
Here's a live look in New York, where the United Nations General Assembly is meeting this week. The president will head to the city tonight and is expected to address the assembly tomorrow.
The war in Gaza will be front and center as more countries move to recognize Palestinian statehood, however, not the U.S.
Jared Hill reports from the UN.
At the 80th UN General Assembly, France and Saudi Arabia are driving the charge to convene a conference on a two-state solution as Israel's war in Gaza rages on. The push to recognize a Palestinian state has become a central theme of this year's meetings. French President Emmanuel Macron says the plan would recognize a reformed Palestinian Authority, which currently controls the West Bank. Several Western countries have formally signed on, including the UK, Canada, Australia, and Portugal.
We are acting to keep alive the possibility of peace.
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer at the same time denounced Hamas and called for the terror group to release the hostages taken in its October 7th attack on Israel.
Hamas is a brutal terror organization. Our call for a genuine two-state solution is the exact opposite of their hateful vision.
This attempt to recognize a Palestinian state puts close U.S. allies at odds with the former policy of the United States as well as Israel, with Israel's prime minister arguing it rewards Hamas for terrorism.
The people of Israel pray for peace. We want to have peace, but we want to know that we have a partner for that.
Peace talks have come within reach in the past, only to end in violence and disappointment. Hamas is formally committed to Israel's destruction, and Israel has vowed to continue its war in Gaza until Hamas is driven from power.
There is no ceasefire deal on the horizon. There is no real pathway to the release of the Israeli hostages. So is this the right moment, I think, is a valid question to be asking on the point of recognition.
The U.S.'s longtime position is that it supports the goal of a Palestinian state, but not until the two sides negotiate the terms. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
More than 140 other countries already recognize Palestinian statehood, but not all European nations are on board. Italy says it would be counterproductive at this point, and Germany says it could undermine a negotiated solution.
Software giant Oracle will receive a copy of TikTok's algorithm to operate for users in the U.S. That had been one of the major outstanding questions regarding the Trump administration's pending deal. The new information comes as the White House pushes ahead to finalize the TikTok sale after President Trump said he made progress toward the deal in a call with Chinese President Xi Jinping on Friday. Oracle stock surged over 3% today on the news.
To Wall Street now, the Dow is up 66 points. The Nasdaq is up 158. The S&P 500 is up 30 points. Let's get a look at your first warn forecast. It is officially fall, but if you're going to order a pumpkin spice latte, maybe get it on ice. It's pretty warm out there.
Yeah, and we also are seeing some of those storms across the area. That's been the case for much of the day, and there is now a new severe thunderstorm warning for that storm in Crawford County. And there is a possibility that the storm could produce a tornado. Now, right now, it's just a severe thunderstorm warning with it. We are expecting plenty of rainfall with this and some pretty strong winds potentially as well. But you can see this potential hook just to the south of Gaze Mills, where there is the possibility that a tornado could form right there. Again, not a tornado warning, but the National Weather Service and us here definitely keeping an eye on it. Now, as we look at the current severe thunderstorm warning, again, it is for most of Crawford County, and this is initially for hail up to 1 inch in diameter. The actual wind speeds, the straight line winds, not too significant, but if there is a tornado, again, it'll be right in this hook right here. And taking a look at the current velocity, again, just to the south and southwest of Gaze Mills, moving to the east-southeast. So for those of you in Boscobel, Richwood, definitely get inside, even Steuben, get inside and stay away from windows potentially, because it doesn't take long for this tornado to form. Again, there's not a tornado right now, but it is possible. Now, even if we don't see the tornado, we are seeing hail up to 1 inch in diameter, so that alone could definitely be very dangerous. So I advise everyone in the area to stay inside. And although we may not see storms quite this significant for everyone, the potential for these storms are going to continue. So again, here's a look at the storm impacting most of Crawford County right now, moving to the southeast. Those of you in Boscobel, definitely get inside, and that's going to continue further southeast from there. Now, as I mentioned, this is expected to continue throughout the evening. Pop-up showers and thunderstorms are expected. Some of them could be on the stronger side. They're going to last until about midnight to 1 a.m. for Madison, a little bit later for areas to the south and east. And then once we get closer to sunrise Tuesday, then the rain will clear out of the area. After that, we're going to continue to see a few small chances of rain, very low chance of severe weather starting tomorrow, and in general we're not going to see a ton of rainfall, but the chance of showers are going to kind of continue through Thursday before we really dry up for the end of the week. Now once we get to the end of the week, we're also going to see warmer temperatures. The next few days after today, we'll see temperatures pretty close to normal. Lower 70s are in the forecast, but then upper 70s to potentially lower 80s will be in the forecast for the end of this week and into early next week. So we're still going to see some summer-like temperatures, but again, right now, I definitely advise everyone to keep an eye on the radar for the next few hours because we're seeing some pretty strong storms right now.
Thank you, Jacob. We'll check back in. We are now in week 3 of our 40th annual Coats for Kids campaign, and so far we've received 1,490 donations.
Boy, thank you, everybody. That's great considering how warm it's been, too. It's hard to think about winter weather. Our goal is to collect 5,000 by October 4th. You have until then to drop off any new or gently used winter gear to any Clinky Cleaners in Dane County. And as we said, thanks to everyone who's donated so far. Still ahead tonight on Live at 4, when we come back, we'll meet the new assistant coach on the UW men's rowing team.
We're talking with Lowell McNicholas about why he came back to campus and how he's using his experience as a student athlete to mentor other students. Well, sometimes UW-Madison students work for years to get that diploma and leave campus, and just like that, they're back. That's true for Lowell McNicholas, an alum and former Badgers rower.
He returned for a coaching gig in 2015 and then left to work at the University of Iowa as an assistant coach for the women's rowing team. Until recently, Lowell is back as an assistant coach for the UW-Madison men's team. And Brady and I sat down with him to talk about his journey from athlete to coach and his new role here.
What has your journey been like? What about rowing just sparks this passion inside of you?
It's a pretty interesting sport. It's something that requires a tremendous amount of hard work. It requires a tremendous amount of dedication and consistency, and also finding rhythm and balance. And so it's something that is very rewarding at the end of a hard day, but also is something that's very therapeutic and personally, like mentally engaging, that helps you really focus on just the task at hand. The ultimate team sport. It requires a group of individuals to come together collectively to get the job done, but the sum of each individual part. So you as an individual have to be worrying about yourself and taking care of business there too, but also in combination with your teammates there too. So it's really the best of both worlds in sports.
So after graduation, you transitioned into coaching. You were an assistant coach here at Wisconsin and then left to go to the University of Iowa to be an assistant coach with the women's team. What is it about this program and this place and this team that brought you back?
Yeah, I mean, it's a couple different things. The people, first and foremost, the athletes. The coaches that are in this building are on the same page. It is about that development component. It is about the hard work. It's about racing, having fun with being a competitor. Those types of things make the sport incredibly rewarding. It's a really, really challenging sport. It's really, really hard to do. And so having people around you that are there to push you and support you and challenge you makes that experience incredibly worthwhile.
What is it like to go from being that athlete to now being one of those mentors to these student athletes and helping them unlock their potential?
And you're working with coaches who coached you now.
Yeah. So my college coaches, Coach Clark and Coach Human, are still here in the boathouse as the head coach and the director of rowing. It's a dream come true, and one that I didn't even dream of when I was in college, that would potentially be an opportunity. So to be in this place, both from 2015 to 2021, and then have the opportunity to come back is amazing. It feels so good. Our job is to help mentor and support people. Like, that's at the core of what we do, of teaching, educating, encouraging, helping bring out the best in athletes, their confidence, their hard work ethic. It's all things that they have inside themselves, and we're just helping, polish and bring it out in the best on a grand stage. So to be able to show up every day at work and say, like, how can I help? How can I support? How can we tinker and be clever and creative to help you figure this out is really, really cool.
So Lowell, one of my favorite things, and I bet it's one of yours too, is coming out and watching the rowing teams just glide across this water. They're so in sync, they're so connected. What about being on the water, I guess, inspires you, or having that connection to the water? What do you love about it?
Yeah, there's actually been a lot of research about the human connection with water. There's an author that wrote a book called The Blue Mind, whatever's going on here just calls to us. There's, a spiritual connection, a physical connection. It's deeply calming, but we want to be by the water. And so to have a sport where you get to spend so much time in and around it is really, really cool. Again, it's an interesting combination of relaxation, rhythm, being in sync. You have to be very, very present and focused on what you're doing while bringing that physicality and aggression to it there too. And so again, it's the best of both worlds to be able to focus on that as an experience as a student athlete.
You're such a pleasure to talk with.
It was.
Yeah. Well, McNicholas is also the first director of Wisconsin High Performance Training Center, which will see him lead efforts to recruit, develop, and support national team caliber talent right here in Madison.
It's a big deal. If you want to go to the Olympics, you can train right here in Madison now. You can see part 2 of our interview with Lowell tomorrow. He shares his thoughts on NIL, which, as you know, is a precarious situation for non-revenue sports like men's rowing. And we'll also talk to him about how he's using his journey as an out gay athlete to inspire and coach others.
Yeah, so tune in tomorrow. Well, recreational marijuana may be illegal in Wisconsin, but some state lawmakers say that doesn't go far enough.
When we come back, our Ellie LaLiberte tells us about what Republicans call the THC loophole and how their new legislation would address it.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Live at 4. Thanks for spending this time with us today.
Happy fall, everybody. It's the first day of fall. We're about 3 hours in.
Look at us go.
Let's take a look outside today. We have a shot of the Capitol from Olbrich Park. That's one of the prettiest views in town. And the weather words today, seasonable after the storms. But first, we have to get through the storms.
Yeah, exactly. And Jacob Montesano has been tracking some severe weather. Jacob, what are you seeing?
Yeah, right now that storm out in Crawford County continues to push to the south and east. As we take a closer look at it, bringing in heavy rainfall, plenty of lightning, also some hail, and potentially an isolated tornado. Now, there is a severe thunderstorm warning versus a tornado warning. Now, when you have a severe thunderstorm warning that as a tornado possible to it, it's kind of like a tornado watch, but under a much smaller area. Now, for those of you in basketball, the storm is barreling down on your location. And looking a little bit closer at the storm, that hook we saw about 15 minutes ago, not as defined, which is certainly some good news. But again, we still have this severe thunderstorm warning for hail as well. And we also are going to be seeing just some fairly strong winds. Winds not as much of a hazard as the hail would be, but still I advise everyone in the path of the storm to definitely stay inside, definitely stay away from windows as well, especially for those of you in basketball and surrounding areas. Now, as we take a look at the velocity metric, the bright red you're seeing, that's where the strongest winds are located. Now, I'm not seeing any sign of rotation, which is good. The green is towards the radar, red is away, so when you see a small couplet like that, you could kind of get a rotation out of that. But right now, not really seeing a lot of it, despite the fact that there is, the red and green next to each other. Not a big sign of any type of rotation, which is definitely some good news. And as I mentioned, seeing that hail, right now hail about 1.5 inches in diameter, so that is a big hazard as well. Again, this storm continuing to push to the south and east, those of you in basketball, and then potentially Fenimore, Highland, maybe even Dodgeville in about an hour to 2. So these are going to be the kind of storms we see all evening long. Maybe not to this extent because there really is not a big tornado risk, but we're going to continue to keep an eye on the potential storms over the next few hours. And as far as right now, this is really the only storm, but our entire area could see these at any point later on this evening.
Thank you, Jacob. In an announcement today, President Trump promoted unproven ties between taking Tylenol during pregnancy and an increased risk of autism.
Doctors and those who deal with the condition every day tell our Arman Rahman that all this amounts to is hurtful rhetoric.
There are reports that federal health officials plan to tie the use of the active ingredient in Tylenol, acetaminophen, during pregnancy to autism. Earlier this month, the Wall Street Journal reported that Trump administration expected to suggest acetaminophen, the active ingredient in Tylenol, taken during pregnancy could be a potential cause of autism. Megan Houghton works for the Autism Society of South Central Wisconsin and is a mom to 2 young teens with nonverbal autism. She fears this is going backwards in how society looks at her children and what they bring to the world.
To just say it's Tylenol just doesn't seem right to me. you know, and to imply, once again, kind of putting this guilt on the mom as well. You know, like, well, mom took Tylenol and now this has happened to her children. That worries me for the impact that it can have on, you know, mothers too. So this idea that there's a cause, this idea that there's a cure, you know, autism is a developmental disorder.
Ahead of that White House announcement, the company that owns Tylenol pushed back in a statement saying, quote, "We believe independent sound science clearly shows taking acetaminophen does not cause autism." Parents of kids and teens with autism tell me continuing to talk about the condition like this does not help anyone. More from them tonight at 6.
Thank you, Armand. We'll see you at 6. And tomorrow we'll talk about this with UW Health's Dr. Jeff Potoff. He'll have more on the medical community's reaction to this announcement.
At the Capitol, some Republican lawmakers are looking to close what they call a THC loophole after 85 people ate contaminated pizza in Stoughton last year.
Our Ellie LaLiberte read over the proposed legislation, and she joins us now in the studio. Ellie, what does it look to do?
Well, Brady, Susan, essentially it would make a version of the psychoactive products taken from hemp illegal. Now, hemp is the same plant family as marijuana, but the difference is it's not considered a controlled substance if the concentration of THC, the psychoactive ingredient, is less than 0.3%. Now, this legislation would essentially get rid of products like edibles and vapes by redefining hemp. Madison extract owner Brooke Bartels says he's all for regulation, but this is the wrong way to do it.
Banning THCA outright isn't going to solve this problem. It's going to just force another black market surge. It's going to put legitimate businesses out of order. It's going to cost jobs. It's going to cost taxes. It's going to cost income, and it's going to hurt the state.
Bill authors, on the other hand, write that, quote, products containing these hemp-derived cannabinoids include beverages, vapes, oils, gummies, and other edibles. They are sold in convenience stores, gas stations, and even online, often with minimal or no age restrictions and no meaningful regulation.
Yeah, we tend to hear this conversation. It's ongoing. What does hemp regulation, where does it stand right now?
Yeah, from my conversation with Bartels, he was telling me that right now his business, the only regulation he has is from the USDA, so not from Wisconsin. He says because of that lack of regulation, I should say, there are some sketchy products that can come up on the market.
How is he saying it's impacting, this potential change in the legislation would impact his business? Because there's a lot of products out there and there's probably a lot of money involved in this.
Yeah, I mean, he says it would hurt his business. So the way this bill is written right now, he told me it could essentially cripple the hemp industry in Wisconsin. I also talked to the lead author of this bill. She says this industry is created because of this loophole, so necessarily it shouldn't have necessarily taken root.
And with that bill, where is it at right now?
Yeah, so very early stages. It's just circulating for co-sponsorship right now, so very, very early in the beginning.
I'm sure we'll hear much more about it. Very interesting debate. Ellie, thank you. Well, we'll follow this proposal closely, as we were just saying with Ellie, as it moves through the legislature, and you can receive updates directly to your phone with the free Channel 3000 mobile app. Well, fall is here, which means it's time to get your family to the pumpkin patch.
Josh Sprider shows us what's new at Schuster's Farm this year, coming up.
And showers and storms continue tonight. Will they stick around through the week? Jacob will tell us. He'll have the updated forecast when we come back.
Plus, a Jordan Peele-produced horror film came in second over the weekend at the box office. Will Loper reviews Him when Live at 4 returns.
Well, football season, as you know, has arrived, and so too has a new horror movie that delves into the more sinister side of the game.
It's called Him, and it came in second place at the weekend box office. Is it worth seeing, though? Here's local film critic Will Loper.
Hey, Susan and Brady. Demon Slayer stays on top of the box office, while the newest movie in theaters, Him, slightly disappoints, making just $13 million to end in second. But is the film worth seeing?
Do you want this? I said, do you want this?
Him is a horror film following a young football player, Cameron Cade, played by Tyreek Withers, who goes to train a week with aging quarterback Isaiah White, played by Marlon Wayans, at Isaiah's remote desert compound.
I hear you've been invited to train with legend Isaiah White himself. Care to elaborate?
I want to be the GOAT.
But Cam finds Isaiah and the compound to be an overly intense and increasingly disturbing experience.
You want to play at your highest level? You want to be a legend? Let me tell you something. This ain't a game.
The film explores themes that include hero worship in sports and the sacrifices players put themselves through in the pursuit of greatness. But the execution is only ever 60% of the way there.
And how bad does Cameron Cade want it? What am I willing to sacrifice?
Him has style and visual flair for days, but fails to bring the substance, and is not worth seeing in theaters.
Yeah, we playing some football!
For Live at 4, I'm Will Loper.
Something to stream then. It's week 3 of the Wisconsin Huddle, and you can be a part of this week's show. Tonight, Badger safety Austin Brown is our guest as the Badgers head into their bye week. Taping starts at 7 p.m. over in Jay's Bar on Francis Street. We hope to see you there. We'll be right back. And the 608 Schuster's Farm has people talking with some of its fall family fun going on right now.
Josh Spreiter is at their farm in Deerfield with more on this year's winning theme.
Well, fall is officially here, and the Fall Family Fun is officially underway for Schuster's Farm. So we decided to check out what they have going on this season, and joining us is their Director of Fun, Mitchell Schrupfer. Mitchell, good to see you.
Yes, thank you for joining us here.
So this is an exciting year for you guys for a lot of reasons. Obviously, you love fall. What are some of the things you're most excited about this year?
Yes, so very excited this year. We have a great pumpkin patch coming up. We were able to control the weeds a little bit better than years past, and so we seem to have gotten a great crop coming up. You can see behind us we have a pretty good size selection right now. Very proud of some of the smaller pumpkins available too. Those are usually a family favorite. Everyone can grab a small pumpkin and carry it to the car themselves. That seems to be a very popular theme for some families.
Oh, for sure. And you guys were just honored for being the 3rd best pumpkin patch in the entire country by USA Today. So obviously, I mean, you're known nationwide for having a great pumpkin patch.
Yes, so I want to thank everyone who did vote for us. We are very honored to be selected for that. The 3rd in the nation is truly unbelievable. And although we do have very nice pumpkins, I like to think it's the atmosphere around the pumpkin patch that really set us apart from other patches, that we are able to bring that fun, that family entertainment to celebrate the fall harvest time.
Absolutely, and what you're also celebrating this year is your corn maze. Let's talk a little bit about that, because you guys are celebrating Wisconsin women's hockey because they are the GOAT of women's hockey, and that's kind of your theme for the corn maze.
Yes, so we have 5 full-time employees at the farm. 4 of them are Badger alums. So we are very proud of our Badger athletics, and so we are celebrating the team of the university, the women's hockey team. They just won their 8th national championship, and so it's a wonderful thing to celebrate. We are honored to be partnering with Mark Johnson as well, not only in the academic and the athletic side of things, but also now on his personal side. They are starting Agape Ranch, which is a 501c3 organization that's going to be helping combine animal welfare as well as health and wholeness.
And we talk about, women's hockey being the GOAT, and we got to play with the baby goats a little bit earlier, so that's a big hit here at Schuster's.
Yes, absolutely. The goats love to wander around the farm. The baby-sized ones can fit through the fence, and so they will be exploring the backyard when you're visiting. That's always fun to see them climbing up by the slides and everything as well. They are just here to have fun as well.
It's a great place to have fun. You have a lot of fun ahead. So this weekend's going to be another big one. What do you have going on?
Yep, so Saturday night is our opening night for the Haunted Forest. And so tickets are available online for that only, but we're looking to kick off. We have some great new scenes down there. I was able to take a tour last night myself, and they are extra creepy, if I say so myself. And then Sunday morning, quite a change of pace. We're having Princess Day here at the farm.
Oh, nice.
So we have a couple princesses visiting us, and then it normally looks like a giant tea party when you come here, that we have a lot of little dresses bouncing around, playing in the backyard.
I love it. Well, we've got a couple of friends hanging out with us here this morning, too. You don't know what you're going to expect here on the farm, right? There's always something.
Yes, everyone loves to explore the farm, including our 2 hen turkeys here as well.
And your dog Delilah hanging out with us right in front here. Well, Mitchell, thank you so much for giving us a little tour, and happy fall. It's officially here.
It is officially here. It's that time of year. The weather's changing, and it's good to have it back.
Time to have some fun. If you'd like to learn more about what's happening here at Schuster's, just go to the story app on channel3000.com. In Deerfield, I'm Josh Spreiter, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Josh. Best time of the year.
It's
here.
Very nice. But we are tracking some stormy weather. Here's meteorologist Jacob Montesano.
Thanks, Brady. As we take a look at the three things you need to know, we're going to continue to see that thunderstorm activity through the overnight hours, especially through the early overnight hours. And then after the storms, we're going to see temperatures pretty close to normal. And then following that, they are going to warm up by the time we get to the weekend. Now, as we take a look at the one storm across our area, the good news is that this is dissipating quite a bit, and there's pretty much no risk of a tornado from it right now. We continue to keep an eye on it. Still seeing that severe thunderstorm warning for the potential of hail up to 1 inch in diameter, but you can see just kind of the overall variety of the dark reds kind of really shrinking a little bit, and that indicates that it is in a dissipating state. Still bringing heavy rainfall and plenty of lightning, so I definitely advise everyone in the path of this storm to still stay inside, let the storm pass. That includes you folks in Boscobel. Right now, it looks like this severe thunderstorm warning will expire at 5 p.m. and at this point in time, it is not expected to continue for areas to the south and east of that. But that doesn't mean we're done with severe weather for the rest of the evening. We're going to continue to see an isolated risk throughout the rest of today into the early overnight hours, and even stronger risk of that severe weather as you look further to the west. Now, looking at the timing of all this, again, just a few on and off showers and storms for much of the area. It looks like the best chance of rain will be for places to the west, as I mentioned. Also could see some of that rain to the east a little bit later. And for Dane County, it's going to wrap up around midnight to 1 a.m., a little bit later for areas to the south and east. But once we get really close to sunrise Tuesday, that will mostly clear out of the area. And then although we aren't expecting any severe weather Tuesday, we still could see some rainfall, but the rain chances are going to be pretty small. But we will continue to see those rain chances through Thursday. And then by the time we get to the end of the week, we are going to be dry. And we also are going to be pretty warm, especially compared to normal by the end of the week. Upper 70s will return, maybe even some 80s returning. So we're going to kind of feel a little bit like summer again. Now, for the next few days after today, those highs will be in the lower 70s, which is very close to normal for this time of the year. But plenty of sunshine and above normal temperatures are in the forecast for this weekend. And right now, that is expected to continue for the extended forecast. So although it may officially be fall, it still is not really going to feel like it many of the next 10 days.
Well, you want to mark your calendar for Saturday, September 27th. It's the True North Festival at the Duck Pond.
How about that?
Yeah.
And it features some of Madison's best chefs, restaurants, and finest emerging local and regional music. And Madison Magazine is a proud sponsor of the event. Tickets can be found at truenorthfest.com, and they start at $15. $2 from each ticket sold will benefit Domestic Abuse Intervention Services, or DAYS, and the Dane County Food Collective.
And Jacob's here with a final check of the weather. Doesn't feel like fall out there, but it's good news that that storm doesn't look like it.
Yeah, that storm.
Tornado.
Yeah, that storm is dissipating. Still going to see a few other storms similar to it over the next few hours. I don't know if we're going to quite get to that level of the tornado risk, because there really isn't a tornado risk across southern Wisconsin. There was just a very small hook with this storm, and so there was that very small potential. But again, this storm is dissipating, but still bringing plenty of rainfall. The National Weather Service is expected to let this warning expire, which means it's not going to be extended. So although we're still going to see some rainfall, the hail is also dissipated with this as well. But as I mentioned, that doesn't mean we're done with the severe weather for the rest of the evening. Definitely just stay tuned to News 3 Now and keep an eye on the First Warn Weather app for live radar. May not be a super busy evening, but certainly going to see those on and off storms for a lot of the area.
All right, thank you, Jacob. We'll be right back.
Tomorrow on Live at 4, UW Health's Dr. Jeff Potoff brings us the facts on Tylenol safety after the president has linked its use during pregnancy to autism. And coming up on News 3 Now at 5, how a decision at the federal level is affecting children who are disabled in your communities. Well, thanks for watching Live at 4 today. We'll see you back here tomorrow, same time, same place. And remember, you can always catch us streaming on Channel 3000 plus 24/7. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.